I am currently 17,000 words into writing a new novel, and I thought I would do something new where I do a little weekly check-in and update you on my writing progress every week and talk a little bit about like what writing things I'm thinking about. So the book I'm writing is a standalone adult fantasy novel, and it is actually a retelling of another book, which is quite fun because it means I've got this framework to work from and then build upon and add in lots of things that I'm thinking about, fun magic stuff, but then come back to this like central like basis. At about 20% of the way through, I'm starting to like think about what I like, what I don't like about what I've written so far, and whether there's things I want to change before I carry on. I'm also thinking a lot about like how I write, because I do tend to go through my scenes in a couple of stages where firstly I'll focus on plot, making sure that I know like what things that scene is doing and how it's going to move the story forward, and then once that's down I'll go back and look at things like character and writing style and making sure it's as funny as possible, and then I'll do another wave where I'll go back and add in more descriptions, and it all comes and goes in different layers. And I can't necessarily focus on them all at once. I also am a huge planner. I've got about 13,000 words in the document at the minute of extra notes about what's to come that I keep adding to, and I add them on my phone all the time whenever I think of anything, and then when I sit down at my desk they get added into my document, which at the minute feels quite intimidating because there's just so much that I need to dig through, and I'm worried that I've got too much and like I can never find what I'm looking for. But I'm just working away at it, and occasionally I discover a gem that I recorded a month ago and then forgot about, and I can go in and add that back into the earlier scene where it was necessary. I think there's a pressure on writers to like write a certain number of words a day, and you see like writers writing like 5,000 words a day. I've been writing consistently as a full-time author for 10 years, and my average is about 1,500 words a day. I think I need to give myself time to think about what I'm doing and plan ahead and go back and edit. If I go much faster than that, I either burn out or I get off track, and I'll write something that I then have to like go back and completely delete, so it doesn't make much point for me. There's always things you need to do alongside writing, so I found that there's not much point in pushing myself creatively beyond 1,500 words. But what I do is I will then read what I've written at the end of the day out loud and edit it, and make sure that it's working smoothly. And then the next day I will also read over it and edit it, and so it's continually getting edited as I go. And then if I come up with a better idea, I go back and re-edit it and work through it. So it's not just 1,500 words done, I'm then also doing that editing process over the whole thing every day as well. And some days my creativity is really high, it comes really easily, I feel like I'm writing really funny stuff. Other days it's like wading through treacle, and you just have to like work with your body and your mind and what it wants to do that day. I find that like reading lots of books always refills that well and gives me loads of inspiration of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of otherwise. Whenever I read anything fantasy at the minute, I'm making notes and thinking about what I want to do with my book and how I want it to compare to others in the cozy fantasy genre, I want to say. And yeah, just like seeing what works and what doesn't. But still early on, it might all change, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So yeah, I will check in next week and let you know how my writing is going, and we'll see if I've got anything else I can say without spoiling the book.